Hey everybody, this is B from Kongs R Us, and welcome to The Next Level. This is my weekly podcast show where I bring you next level things, guests, projects, community members. Then this week's show, I can't tell you how long I've been waiting to talk to my guests today because they are absolutely next level. I feel like I said this before that this is the year of the racer, and I've been making a lot of content recently about racing builds and things you can do. I did my joint PC linked cabs outside that we can get going. But I've been obsessed with trying to think about like what's the best option for me. I'm still in this baby phase of exploring what options I want to do for my personal racing rig. So I started reaching out. I started getting messages from people that have built their own racing rigs and own racing arcade cabinets. So today we're going to explore talking to some guests that have built their own racing rigs, whether it's in a personal arcade cabinet, where they built kind of a cab that was pre-built, but they added their own elements to it, or you go from complete scratch and you do a full-on racing simulator with the rig that can move on its own. Hint, hint, we'll be talking to some folks that have some amazing next level builds from all over the world. It's going to be amazing. So let's get it started. Thank you all for being here today. Thunderbird is here. Brooklyn is here. A Tran Fanatic. Reverend Sarge is here, as well as 19K Fox. Those guys might be joining us a little bit later on. Social Fan Bam is saying you are the man. Hardcore, keep it real. Thanks for being here. But let's bring on our first guest. And it's been hard to track this guy down. He does his Sunday podcast at night. He referenced he might be on my show, but then he said he might not. Then he said he was going to join on. Then he said he wasn't. And I don't even know if he's really here today because you are an elusive man to commit to Showtime, Fox. What's up with that, man?
It's all true. All of it. I just play hard to get, Con. It's just what it is.
You do. Yeah. You do. You are hard to get, my friend. The story went, I saw Fox's amazing Gran Turismo build that he has on his channel. We're going to check it out in just a second. But I said, hey, would you want to showcase that bad boy off on a show? Because I've actually been waiting to talk to you about your modding capabilities and the things that you do. Because for folks that know my channel, people see me as a modder, and I dabble in tweaking.
You do a little more than dabble, to be fair.
I dabble. I call myself a lazy modder, Fox, because I only take existing things and I just kind of make them a little bit better. I don't build things from scratch. I'm not a Bobby Vu. I'm not a 19K Fox. I don't have the hands to build, but I can wire shit together. So I can take the wires of things and make electronics and PCs and things work. So I've been meaning to talk with you because I think there's kind of a cool balance, because when you build your cabinets, you almost put I think you mentioned it, you put consoles inside most of your builds, right?
A lot. Yep.
So that one of the main just go ahead, talk a little bit about why.
I just wanted to say that sort of the main reason that I do that is because I think really for me, it all comes down to the ROM. Mm-hmm. The thing that I can't tell you where to go get it, so when I'm doing the videos, it's like, okay, you have to have this sort of, and most of us do, so it's not that foreign, but I wanted to do it in a way that people could, a couple things, you could repurpose a console that maybe you have kind of laying around, maybe it's under some, it's under a stack of other stuff. You could repurpose that and use it in a neat, fun, interesting way. And it's a way you can sort of, you can follow along. I don't have to leave something out. I don't have to say, okay, now go get your legally obtained ROMs and load them on your PC or Pi or whatever. So it's a way we can go through the project start to finish, and I don't have to kind of leave anything out. So, and I'm also lazy.
It seems a little bit easier than some of the configuration that emulation requires, because no emulation is perfect. I'll tell you that much. And with racing rigs, also lots of different things. So this build here, this Gran Turismo 25th anniversary racing cabinet sim rig that you put together, skipping ahead to when it's already put together, because a lot of your video shows off kind of the build process. But for folks that have not seen this, let's just walk through this and tell me, how long did it take for you to kind of put this together in a nutshell? Like, what's the time frame that it took to get this all going?
I think it was April 2020 is when I did my first video in the series. It really was just going to be a budget racing rig, like just to see. I bought it on eBay. This is what it looks like. This is how it goes together. And it was very much that was the video. But then it sort of became something else. I didn't want to just leave it stock and then Gran Turismo happened a little bit later because I love the game, and then I love all the games. And 7 kind of wasn't the best that it could have been, but I love the idea of the 25th anniversary. And so I changed my artwork. I did a video about that. And I mean, here it is. It was kind of a basic concept. Really, the front style, the
Mm-hmm.
design is really basic.
Yeah.
It's just sort of a box that the TV and soundbar sit in.
But the
And then
base is an actual racing rig seat.
Now that
And
enclosure
yes,
behind the
yes. The
racing
first
seat
video that I did
has
was just that's where I started.
wireless.
It was like $220, I think, for the
Mm-hmm.
seat. So that's where I started. And then I got the wheel, and then I got the pedals, and then that just sort of bolted together. And then from there, you're like, okay, now what do I do? You know, I can just plug it into a TV and I'm good. But I wanted to kind of take it to the next level. Name of the show, I worked that in
Yeah.
there. but
Yeah.
it was yeah, it just sort of it sort of morphed and became what it was. And it's great because it is sort of modular. You could take this, you could swap
Mhm.
out the PS4, put a PS5 in,
Mhm.
you know, upgrade your wheel later on if you get something a little bit different. So, and this is me goofing around.
nice camera work there. So quick specs. What's the size of the monitor on this?
So this is a 43-inch 4K TV.
Mhm.
It is a Samsung soundbar. The subwoofer is wireless.
Yeah.
As far as its connection to the soundbar itself, but it still requires power. What that really did for me was it's so surround sound that close. If you're driving, you get the sensation of the cars coming to your left or your
Oh,
right, or
nice.
when you
Nice.
fly past an
Nice,
object.
nice.
Oh, it's
All
awesome.
right. That's awesome. And what was the wheel that you used?
That was the Thrustmaster 300 RS, I believe. It's the Gran Turismo edition, so it came with the metal pedals.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, all right. So that was the first Racing Big. I have lots more guests waiting backstage. So we're going to bring them all on, and then I'm going to ask more detailed questions to get some opinions on these things, Fox. But you saw my thumbnail. Are you excited to see some of these other racing rigs?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yes,
it's cool. And I think the fun thing about this is that there's no wrong way to do this. It's just fun to see options, and options being the spice of life. I'm going to bring on my good guy, Charlie Chuck, aka Mark here. How's it going, Charlie?
I'm good. How you doing, guys?
Good, thanks. Like the shirt, See, you got Daytona in your background. Tell folks a little bit about who you are, and are you a racing fan by chance? I see Daytona on your At Games Legends back
Actually, not really. I actually prefer F1, if anything, but
okay.
I always loved Daytona, the game, the original.
Mm-hmm.
And then these days, obviously, there's the modern versions with the NASCARs, and you know, they make a new edition every year. And that was actually one of the reasons. You see me in the background here. I've got the ad games with the Daytona art, but I'll go around the corner here for a second and show the buy stuff store version, which is the real attraction tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna share your video in just a second. But so let me ask you, since you reskinned the At Games Legends with Daytona, do you have OTG or something running where Daytona can run on that?
I had the PlayStation 3 version of Daytona, and that's what I was using on that. And now I'm gonna split it and put it on the other. But the other one is you know, you probably noticed it too as you've got going, and Fox has his Gran Turismo. You know, when you've got the capabilities of the sound, and in my case, there's like the shaker under the seat, the huge shaker behind the cabinet. You really want to play the modern stuff. It's Wreckfest is what I'm going to kind of queue up here. I played real quick and got destroyed real quick, so I'll just hit like an instant replay here to hopefully show a little bit of what it looks like. But yeah, so that was the first day I got it there, the video you're showing here, and just flying through.
So this is a buy stuff store racing cabinet that is fully made. So tell folks about this, because this is something that you purchased, correct?
And so I'm lucky enough that I live about 2 hours from the buy stuff store, but for my job, I'm on the highway. I go past that store. You can literally see the store from the highway.
Nice.
So I've got to the point where I've got to know Dave and Mike, and they're just great guys, and I'll stop in. And so at one point, you know, I guess I've kind of been a little bit ahead of the curve, hearing a little bit of what's coming. And when I heard about this one coming, I just said, you know, put me down for when I'm really interested. And then they wanted to set it up with the, you know, dual racing. And as you've seen in their video, It was actually my cabinet in the video before I picked it up. So
when they did it side by side, yeah,
yeah,
because you
when
have
they
the
did
yellow
side
chair
by
one.
side, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just kind of said, I didn't want the red chair. That was one thing I asked. And then we just talked about the speakers. And I was just kind of the crash test dummy or the guinea pig, whatever you want to call me, as they tried out some different sound options and seat options and everything. And it worked out really well, and picked it up about a month ago. Unfortunately, it's kind of my busiest stretch here. I'm off during the summers, but I'm really busy here until into June. So I haven't even played it a ton. I mean, I played it, but not as much as I'd like. I have F1 that I've always had. I had the G29 steering wheel, which I added, which is great. And then I added Wreckfest, which I had played just with an Xbox controller. And I can tell you, there's a big difference. I played it in the store before I got rolling back on the highway. And I said to Mike, like, I went around one dirt corner and slid, and you felt like the seat slid. It really gives you an immersive feel. So, and in Wreckfest, you can go over some jumps and stuff, and you feel like you're hanging in the air.
So what do you have in the guts of here? Is this running a PC then?
Right now, it's just my PS4, and
Your
then
PS4 as well?
and I can split it with an HDMI splitter with the PS3, which has the original Daytona arcade game on it.
Got it. All right. So both of you are the console route of setting up your racer, which, you have a few games and things you can play, and the wheels are compatible. They work, force feedback, everything kind of works with it.
Fantastic. The G29, I mean, your arms almost get tired in some of the games, depending on what you're playing. So it's, like I said, it's a different level. It's next level. I can do that too, Fox.
What you did there.
It's next level as far as, when you compare to playing.
Yeah.
You compare to playing with your Xbox controller or whatever, and then
not even close.
It's a different experience playing with the wheel for sure. And this is probably the most turnkey build that if folks are looking to get some on their own, right? And you could eventually, I think, Buy Stuff Store, those guys will be offering this at large to folks to purchase on their own. They have options, modular options to do one or other with the cab. The Daytona artwork is really nice. Another guy that I want to just plug really quickly, Joel Gorski from Retro Lizard, is offering some of these Daytona builds already complete as well. So he's doing emulation PC. But yeah, it was good to showcase your stuff. So maybe Charley, aka Mark, I know I see Charlie Chuck as your YouTube channel. We'll plug it in a little bit. Maybe you can go and head over to the other spot in just a second. So go ahead and switch over. I'm going to bring in our next guest, and then after I get him, we'll go back to you. Perfect. So we can showcase your other stuff. All right. So I'm going to take you backstage. Go ahead and get ready, and we're going to bring in our next guest, who took a little bit of a different route. So our next guest didn't scratch build arcades. He is almost refurbishing full-size racing builds, and they've been absolutely beautiful and next level. I'm going to be pulling up some of his videos from Facebook to showcase the stuff that he's doing. But when I see this gets me excited because it's bringing new life to some older arcade games that can do more than just what they originally did. So let's welcome Fidel from CracWare. Is his nickname.
There he
What's
is.
going on, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, nice to meet you. So you got to tell me first off, where did the nickname come from?
What?
Where did the nickname come from? CracWare.
So when I was like 13, 14 years old, that I used to build computers. So I thought I was the CracWare on computers. So I don't know. I always stick with my name, my emails, everything is just the same name. So I just want to keep saying things, that's what's something that I always love, and build computer. Now I'm building arcades, but the arcades make the computer is basically everything. So I just like to keep it like that.
Yeah, it's your screen name. It's like your very first screen name. You kind of keep it going with it. 19K Fox. What was your very first online screen name?
19K Fox.
Was it?
It was 19K
Fox. It stuck
with you?
Always.
Yeah, it was always 19K Fox.
Conquerus only came up recently for me. My very first screen name ever when AOL came out back in the day was I don't know why Asians used to do this, but it was AZNXK12A2Y, Asian X crazy. But you'd have numbers in there, and it was capital letters, lowercase letters, capital letters, lowercase. No? Do you guys remember that when people would
Yeah,
be
that's
cool.
what I have my nickname, like one capital, one low, one capital, one low. That's how I did it.
We were
You
younger
know.
back then. Yeah.
No? All right. It's hard to do that with 19K Fox, but
Yeah, it doesn't work
that
out.
was my
Yeah.
very first screen name. But all right. So CracWare, aka Fidel. I've seen some of your stuff. I'm going to showcase your Facebook page, which is CracWare Retro Arcades and More, where you can find some more information about your stuff. But talk about who you are, what you've done, because I know you do more than just racing builds, but give a quick intro on who you are and what you do.
Okay. I mean, arcades are something that it just become like 3 or 4 years ago. I start with one arcade, and then I just, that's something that I start giving me that emotion to have like a real machine. So I start with a real machine first, then I start with the emulations, and then I was like trying to make them look better, but I always like it to make it look like original.
Yeah.
Like, original machine. That's why all my builds are from original cabinets. So pretty much I bring those cabinets that sometimes is gonna go to the garbage or they sell it for cheap. I mean, people don't care about them. So I restore them and make it look like men in the best moments of their life. But I always
Yeah.
like to keep it like that, like original with all the buttons, all the buttons work. Like when you play like games like that you have to like do the nitro, you just press the button and you feel like you are in a real machine. That's something that I always like it to do. Like on this machine, this was my first machine. I mean, this is my copy. I started at the beginning, I just started using like all the buttons, like just like in a regular, PC game. But then I say, why? You have all these buttons, why don't use it? So that's why I start using the buttons. I start making it look better, but always realistic, like a real machine. That's why I always use computers, because on computers it's more like open to do anything that you want. I mean, you have emulation, you want to do Nintendo 64, you want to do Super Nintendo, you want to do PlayStation, I mean, high definition PC game. I mean, you can do everything. It's an open world. That's why I always stick with computers. I never do like Raspberry Pis. I mean, people use PS5s and everything. I don't like to use it because you're going to just stuck on that. With a PC, I mean, it's a whole new world. I mean, you can do anything you want. Even I have double screens that you can have double screen on it, using a video card, high definition video card. So, I mean, if you don't want to like play with a regular screen, you just get a Xbox controller. I mean, go Steam, download one game and just start playing it, because basically it's a gaming machine what I do it on those machines. So it's not just love for racing. I mean, you can do anything on it. That's why I always tell people, I mean, when you buy my machines, you're buying a gaming machine. Of course, it's not going to be the high end with like $1,000, $2,000 machine, but it's going to run any game that is out there right now. Any game, no? And it's not talking about just racing, any game.
So you're putting in like full-on PC racing wheels into existing arcade cabinets, and the trim that you're putting in, making it look really clean. And this is the Mario Kart build that you mentioned that you just sold, right?
Oh yeah, I have a lot of people, they love that build.
Oh,
I always had that idea. So I got that customer, he came to my home and I have the cabinets like without doing anything. And sometimes I give the opportunity to the customer to tell, hey, do you want me to do something on there? You have an idea like Mario Kart, cruising or anything, so I build it for you. But I always like to keep it like original. I don't like to go like over like in a game that it's a never exists or something. I like to go like that. Like Mario Kart, I know it's a original machine. I'm trying to make it like the best that I could with the people that work with the artwork. And I always keep it like that, nice, clean, not many buttons, not many lights. Just keep it simple that it looks nice. That's what I like.
That's super inspirational, dude. I love it. I love the before and after stuff. I'm sure Fox can appreciate the handiwork that goes into restoring it.
Talk about capture that nostalgia. That's the cabinets we sat in the 90s when we were kids. It's like putting an LS in an old
like
Chevy.
That one over there. That one over there. I was waiting for somebody to claim it. Nobody's going to claim it. I don't mind. I'm still gonna build something in there, and I'm thinking that I'm gonna build a Batman in there. It's gonna look amazing. This is something that I have on my head, and I wanna build. It's a racing Batman out there. It's a racing machine original. So that's what I'm thinking on that machine. I'm gonna build a Batman. So that's something that always, go on my mind. And if I have the cabinet and I have something to do it, I just make it. Like the Marvel versus Capcom that I'm doing right now. I know it's not racing, but I always try to keep it like that, simple, nice. And I don't know, that's something that I love to do, man. It's a lot of time consuming. My wife sometimes is not very happy because I spend a lot of hours, on the garage because it's not easy.
Hey, it's keeping you out of trouble. That's what it's really doing. You should tell her that, right?
It requires a lot. And sometimes you do something and you think that you do it right and you're using the right tools and it's not there. It's just like right now, I changed my wheel. I'm just testing this wheel. This is the G923. I used to have on all my wheels the G29, the PS, the PS4 version. But I was having issues with the emulation. So I decided to go with this. This is a PC and Xbox, controller. So I just testing it right now. I keep testing it. It's doing better. Believe me, in emulation, stay right, stay what it is. The center stay the way that it should be. Doesn't get crazy like the other one. But it still have some glitches that I'm trying to fix, So that's why I'm always trying to do something, and I offer my customer like the 3 machines that I sold before, they're locally. So I told them if this wheel is the one that I'm going to start doing my bills, I just go to your house, swap it up, get some money for the G29, and you just buy the new one, something like that.
Right.
But, it's always testing something new, something different.
All right, so hang tight, Fidel. I'm going to ask you some more questions. I think this is a great option. If you get access to original arcades, refurbishing an old arcade, giving it new life, sounds like fantastic. So I want to go back to Mark, Charlie, Chuck here. So Mark, now you're on your phone mobile. Give us that mini tour of the Buy Stuff store.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you fine.
All right, so I'm going to crank it so you won't be able to hear me. All right.
Okay. Is this Wreckfest?
Oh, yeah.
So this is a Wreckfest I played a little earlier.
All right. Pull back so we can see the full cabinet, not just the gameplay. I want to see and showcase the whole thing. So show off the artwork, show off the sides and everything. So yeah, that's the marquee. That's really nicely lit. I think we're losing you a little bit. Is he slowing down?
Yeah, he's freezing up.
He's freezing up? All right. I think we've seen some of that. Mark, you might be slowing down a little bit. Pull back and show off just the specs of the build, not just the gameplay, so we can see it. Pull back. Pull back! Back, I say, back.
Pull up, pull up.
Pull up. Yeah, let's see the whole thing. So yeah, you have the chair that's modular, so that's not connected. You have the base. I love the yellow trim on the seat there. You can use any wheel essentially, and the option is you can put the cabinet top back box on it, or you could just have a TV mounted. So they give you lots of options for their build. But yeah, so that looks like Wreckfest running off a simple build. So Fidel, let me ask you. So I know obviously you have the skill set to, build and refurbish, but for folks that are just looking to get into the racing simulation, setup, what do you recommend? Do people just buy like a little just frame and a wheel to get started, or do you think people are better off?
Maybe. I'm more like when I start with the racing, I'm not like a simulation guy, like all that I know all the tricks. It's a lot of technology out there. Like these guys is using it, with amazing wheels. Simulation is different. We're doing arcade, so I try to make it simple. Sometimes I just have something like a handbrake, something that it could look good on the arcade. But I can't go too much. But if somebody wants to start it, they just start with the, like the one that you say with the wheel, like G29. Everybody uses G29.
That's kind of like me outside right now.
Yeah, a PS4. But if you want to go higher, always use a computer. Believe me, it's going to be expensive because playing on a PC, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Especially these days that a video card is going to cost you the triple or four like they used to be. You know, you used to be buy those video cards for nothing. Now they're so expensive. So and people like to go high, you know, and high and high and high, $1,000 video card. But I mean, you could start with a $300 video card, and believe me, it's gonna run everything. It's just some people that they just want like everything so perfect, all the graphics so nice. But I mean, it's different. I mean, but it's expensive.
Fox,
with the.
So are you gonna eventually go PC, or are you gonna stick with your console and GT7 build?
I don't know. I don't think this is the only cabinet I'm going to build. I got some plans for something else. I really want to do a flight sim also.
Ooh.
And I think that because of the way I built it, it's kind of just got a big cavernous back. I could swap that out for a PC easily.
Yeah.
So
if you wanted to like go next,
I've got options.
Yeah, giving yourself
options. It looks good, man. The one that you did looks good.
No, thank you. I love what you're doing.
I saw your video before this. You know, I always searching on YouTube, you know, like what is new and everything. And I saw your video and I said, oh man, this guy, I mean, you made it from scratch. I don't do that. I use original cabinets.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. You know, I know how to cut a wood and do
but it's
some.
Funny, you start with an arcade and I start with the C. We all kind of start with something and we build
with something,
Yeah, so we're all kind of doing the same thing, but no, I love what you're doing. That's so cool.
Yeah, and Mark showing off that Daytona. It's a nice build. It's a good option. I'm really close to getting that set up. It looks like almost what I have. I have a chair on a milk crate that looks like that, and then a little frame of a racing rig. So I think this is a really good basic option for those that want to buy something that's already kind of pre-made. It looks great, I think, from a simple racing, and it looks like a cabinet. That's the thing. Like, I bet your cabs, Fidel, are heavy because they're real arcades, correct? Like it's
they're heavy.
Probably.
They're heavy. I mean, that's why I always tell people. I mean, the arcades that I sell is for some people that have a space. I mean, they have. I mean, the last one that I sold, I think it was the Need for Speed. He was a local, so I helped him. The guy who was on the second floor. I mean, believe me, it was a pain. I mean, to just.
Oh my goodness. A second floor.
It's not that heavy as original because remember, it doesn't have the original monitor that is, it weighs like 300 pounds, you know, so but it's still heavy because it's real wood. I mean, it's not like, you know, arcade one up, you know, that they use, you know, different kind of wood, cheap one and everything. This is real wood, so it's heavy. It's heavy.
All right, so I've been having this guy backstage hanging out, and it's been about 30 minutes. So apologies because he was one of the folks that messaged me, and he made the time to join us because he's joining us all the way from the UK. It is 2:30 a.m. on Future right now. Sarge is here. Hello, Sarge. What's going on, man?
Hello, good evening, good morning, wherever it is.
Thank you for hanging out. I'm sorry it took so long to get you on stage, but if I was talking about saving the best for last, I only say this because I've seen Sarge's rig and setup. If you saw the thumbnail of a full racing sim, there's options that if you want to go from arcade build to a simple just wheel to what you did, Sarge, you got to give me some backstory on why you went the route that you did. So I'm going to pull up a picture of it, or you can turn your camera sideways a little bit, whatever you want to do.
Sure.
Do you want to turn it? You want to do the big reveal?
Show people around.
All right, let's show them the goodies. Let's show them the goodies.
Oh, damn, dude.
Wow.
Just means I've got to get out of my seat. It is very late.
So tell us why. What is this? What are we looking at here?
So over here, it's basically a motion simulator with traction loss fitted to the bottom. Now, this is a sim rig. Now, if you started like I did, around about the times of Daytona USA back in the 90s, so I'm feeling my age a little bit now, but if you started back then, I couldn't have nothing like that in my rooms, or, well, I didn't have the space for it either. But going forward, I had wooden rigs, I had a play seat, various bits and pieces, and then it got to the stage where I started to use a CNC machine, which I built this dashboard here, steering wheels, milled out bits and pieces like foot plates and whatnot. So what I did after then, I started playing my old games such as Daytona and whatnot on a motion simulator.
Oh my
So
goodness.
there is software out there that's capable of running things like Model 2 emulator and Outrun 2006 on an actual motion simulator. So you can build a simulation setup, but it just depends on, well, whether it's worth it for two games if you're in the arcade space. Now, obviously, aspect ratio is a bit of a problem on a wide screen such as that one. But if you fit a normal screen, obviously your aspect ratio is going to be kind of right. But if you build a simulation setup, now, okay, it took me probably 5 years over the time of building this, and I built it on the ethics that, a bit like a real arcade machine, I didn't want flex. So if you pull the gear shifter, there's no flex anywhere. That's one of the plus sides of building it out of aluminium profile.
What are the 4 little pillars on each side? Does that help with the motion sim, or like what are those?
Right, these are the actuators. So if I push this button, I don't know if you can see it here because I'm moving
there's
out
a big red button. What does the big red button do?
So if I push that, normally it would lift up if it was plugged into the wall, but I need to plug it into the wall if you give me 2 seconds. But so what it does, it lifts it off the ground, and once it lifts off the ground, it's in what's called its standby mode.
Okay.
So there's a traffic light over the top, which now says it's in standby.
That's so cool.
So once that goes green,
signals,
if it's red, it means I've stopped it with the emergency stop button. So if I can get this plug-in round my sofa, I can probably show you the whole thing lift up, even though obviously the PC isn't hooked up to it currently. Well, the monitor isn't on, but
all right, I see something moving. This is really crazy.
So whether it moves or not is another thing. But anyway, it lifts up via these motors over here, and there's 4 of them. There's 2 on the front, 2 on the back, and then there's a traction loss one hidden down here. Hang on, if I can.
So was that built by a company like the DOF Reality, or like where did the
No, originally the first one I had was by a French company called ProSimio, I think it was, and this is based on an SFX 100 system. So you 3D print this part, you buy the motors from places like Alibaba or somewhere like that, and the profile that goes with it, and the motor spins round, pushes the whole tube up and down inside the actual piece of profile. So most of it's actually 3D printed.
Oh my goodness.
Believe it or not, they're stronger than what you think. Now, when it pushes it, moves it, I've had this running for a few years now, and when I initially fitted the emergency stop buttons, probably because I was a bit scared that the 3D printed
bad idea.
break.
I do like how there's a big red button on your freaking rig.
Just in case.
So obviously with my daughter taking a keen eye on it, being an inquisitive child and everything else, I thought, well, I'll fit that just in case it throws her through the ceiling or something or other like that. So that's where you got to that. I didn't really trust my own word to begin with, but there's plenty of plans all over the internet.
All right, so the big question I'm sure people are thinking about is like, how much is a rig like this? I know you put a lot of custom hours into this, but like ballpark, what do you think a rig like that would run somebody, or would it run you? Or is that not a lot?
Again, I'm not a sheik that rides on a camel or anything like that, but it probably took me 5 years of spending a couple of K a year, maybe. Yeah. So I would say probably 10,000.
About $10,000 rig that you see there. My
Yeah,
goodness. Spec. What, is that a Fanatic wheel? What kind of wheel is that? I've never...
it's actually a US wheel. It's
Mhm.
an AccuForce Sim Experience AccuForce V2.
Okay.
But the actual wheel rims attached to it are the
Mhm.
ones I made myself.
Mhm.
So I bought a CNC machine a while back, plus my 3D printer, and I 3D print the back of them and CNC out the perspex
So
to.
that's a custom wheel. Man, you can
Yeah.
make anything these
100%
days,
custom.
Niall,
That's
right?
awesome.
So what I did was build these wheels
Cool.
that
Look at that.
fit on a
Custom wheel.
similar quick release, and they just directly attach to the simulator via a DIN cable that's fitted on my custom dashboard over here. If you can see that, there we go. So all of that there is basically custom used with a CNC machine and a 3D printer, the whole lot, with obviously a couple of parts that I've bought. So these parts here, they're commercial purchased, as is the handbrake. But it depends how far you want to fall into the rabbit hole, because some of this equipment is quite expensive, but it just shows you where you can go with it if you want to go there and use it as a multi-machine rather than just for arcade or
That's
just for
right.
simulation.
So many options. And so we've talked to 4 different builders, and I'm feeling very inadequate myself with what I tried to build as my budget sub $300 racing bid. But Fox, let me ask you first. Now that you've seen some other folks, from Fidel to Mark to Sarge, kind of what are your thoughts on just racing options out there? Were you impressed? What are some things you liked about everybody else's builds?
Oh, well, you've kind of assembled a great example of everything in the spectrum. I mean, and you yourself you can add this very basic and get sort of that experience, and then you can step it up. It's a gradual thing to where we get to a point where we're at Sarge and we have linear actuators and the thing is actually elevating. I will say this harkens back to the arcade. I talk about this all the time. Driving cabinets, flight cabinets, the gun games. These were experiences we couldn't easily replicate at home, and now we can, and there's varying degrees of that. But if you're interested at all in this, start with a good wheel, because I think everybody has said this on the panel. It really is sort of the foundation of what you're going to do. A good seat, a good wheel, the force feedback. The way that changes the experience cannot be understated. It's phenomenal. So yeah, I'm curious to push my build a little bit farther and maybe take on some more stuff.
So let's actually talk about that, because wheels, I've seen everybody use different types of wheels, and there's cheap ones that just have a spring. There's those that have various force feedback. So Fox, what was the wheel that you're using? Do you have a preference?
Well, I was using the Thrustmaster. I think it was a 300 RS. It was the Gran Turismo pack-in. You get the metal pedals with that, so it could take a little more abuse than that. But just I think Mark was talking about before, the resistance that you feel. For me, I can feel when the rear end of the car is getting loose by some of the feedback I'm feeling, and I can adjust that. I can get out of the throttle because I can feel my car's about to break loose. You can't get that out of an Xbox controller. You just can't get that.
Fidel, have you used various wheels? Do you have a favorite that you would recommend for folks?
I mean, to be honest, what I see with the other bill, I mean, like I said, that's a whole new level for me. I mean, that's something that is, I mean, when I see his bill, I mean, that's out of the space. I thought it was like a spaceship or something. Yeah. I mean, that thing is, I mean, there's something, I mean, just want to say, UK people, they're so smart, man. They have the best pinball machines. They have the best technology on pinball. They do the best arcades. I mean, I don't know how they do it, but they got the best technology.
They invented Harry Potter.
I watch a lot of, YouTube videos, like, I have a virtual pinball. I made it myself too, but I see those people making those virtual pinball, and it's out of this work. I mean, they're so smart, believe me. But I mean, for me, I just start with the G29. That's all I know. G29. I start my build with that because somebody told me that. Like everybody say, that was the best, wheel to do it. So I start my build with that. And the thing is, when I do a machine and I make a whole build on a hard drive, it needs to use that wheel, because remember, I use a computer, I use emulation. So if I change the wheel, believe me, I have to change everything. I have to
Mhm.
go with Technoparrot, change every single game
Mhm.
on the wheel. So it's a lot of work for me. So right now I'm doing it with the G923 because I think it's better now. I think it's a whole new
The
level
Xbox
for
One?
me.
Mhm.
For me, yeah. So it's better. It's working better with emulation. That's what I want because people want to buy my machines because they want to buy arcades, games on arcade. Also PC games. It works good, but it has some glitches. So I'm
Mhm.
trying to figure it out what it is. If this is not the right wheel for me, I'm gonna go with the Thundermaster that everybody talks about it. So
Yeah.
I just try to look for something better, but I doesn't have that much experience like G29 and this G923. That's all I
Those are
know
about like
wheels, to
about
be honest.
$300 wheels so far, like
Yeah,
for those
it's a $300
Thrustmasters, and that's about
wheel.
$300.
I
Yeah.
haven't get into the Thundermaster that I want. Maybe on the
Mhm.
Batman that I told you that I'm gonna build, I'm
Oh
gonna try
yeah.
to use that one. The one that
Okay.
has the digital theme. I think it's like
Mhm.
300 and something on Amazon.
Mhm.
Thundermaster. I don't remember the serial.
There's a modular Thrustmaster, but one of the more popular modular ones that are like I guess somewhat higher end. I don't know, but like Fanatic is a very popular kind
No,
of
the
like.
Fanatic
Yeah.
is way too
Yeah.
expensive,
That's
right?
too that's too
That's
much. That's like
$700,
$800
no?
for a wheel. Yeah. I don't know. Sarge is like, I'm gonna build my own wheels. I'm gonna 3D print and CNC my
Yeah,
wheels.
yeah, they're
Be
so
knowing this
expensive.
stuff.
I can't do so much expensive because remember, people is not gonna pay that much of money.
That's true.
And it's still an arcade. People want
Yeah.
to experiment with the arcade. I always do
Mhm.
feedback on my arcades, on all the games that has feedback. And I have
Mhm.
the option with the PC. The PC, it's another whole level. I mean, you feel everything. You feel
Yeah.
every pump, everything. I mean, an arcade, it's just like going like this, and you just feel the wheel. But on PC game, it's a whole new experience.
Yeah. Mark, how about you? What wheel are you using? Have you used any other ones besides the one that you have?
Yeah, I have the one that the BuyStuff guys recommended because it works pretty well with MAME. So when I set up the first cab there with the Legends Ultimate, I bought the Thrustmaster. I think, was it the T90? I'm trying to think now of the model number. I think it's the T90. So no force feedback.
Yeah, that's the one that doesn't have force feedback, right?
Yeah,
it just brings back to center.
Honestly, like it's not bad, but it's garbage compared to.
Yeah, it's like
the
$100
G29.
wheel.
I
You
don't
never
even
go
like
back
using
once you
it.
go force feedback.
Yeah, you don't even want to use it once you have it. And I had the G29 first from years ago, just with the PlayStation anyway. So I already knew what it was like to have the force feedback, and then to try this Thrustmaster. It's fine with some of those basic ones that don't have any force feedback in some of the older arcade driving games, but I'd rather have it all set up. It's tricky to set up with a G29. Before I had any of this, I just had an old Street Fighter cab, and I just tried to set up the G29 on that, just for curiosity to set it up. And I think I saw you be once on one of your shows, just setting up a little bit, going through the settings, and it's pretty tricky. It's pretty tricky because it changes from game to game. How it'll work. I think it was Cruise and just did not work well at all. It was so sensitive.
Fidel knows emulation is never 100% perfect.
Yeah, it's always going to be like that. People think that it's going to be like a real machine. No, it's not. I mean, some people ask me, it's going to feel like a real machine. I mean, it gets close to it, but it's not. I mean, nothing is going to be like a real machine. Believe me. I mean, nothing is going to be like real. But
unless
we
you
try
have
to make
Sarge's
it
machine.
the most, possible to make it look like real, but it's never going to look like, feels like that.
Sarge, so again, you probably have a lot of experience over the years building, making things better. Have you gone through different types of wheels, or did you, for the one that you ended up custom making to get there, or like, did you already know you wanted this and you didn't even bother with Thrustmasters and Logitechs and that stuff?
No, I had them all. Started with a Microsoft Sidewinder, I think it was.
Oh my god, I haven't heard that in a long time.
Yeah, I had a big force button in the middle. I absolutely loved that wheel back in the Toka Touring Cars day, but that was the closest I could get to Sega Rally 2 back then. So that was the way it went. Eventually, I had a Logitech G25, I think it was, off the top of my head. And that was a great wheel. I mean, I didn't have compatibility problems sort of like you've got with the latest ones. If you go with the direct drive, your compatibility problems, you can take 3 days just tuning the game in. Take Forza Horizon 5, for instance, and the time it takes, if you just want to jump into a game, that kind of setup is just not for you. But yeah, I went through that, and I had a Thrustmaster T500 for years, absolutely years. And what started me off was I started taking that wheel apart, and I fitted my own custom wheels that I might have bought from eBay and these kind of fake OMP things and what have you. And I fitted them with their own quick releases. And once I started at that, I fell down the rabbit hole of everything you've pretty much just seen on the video. So
what did you do with all your old wheels? Are they in the garbage? Did you donate them? Closet?
No, some of them are in pieces. There's pieces to Thrustmaster wheels, probably up in the loft somewhere. Most of them have disappeared. I couldn't really tell you where, but bits that went with my old consoles and some of my old Thrustmaster wheels, some of the pedals, they're all just in boxes up the loft because you never know when you're going to need them, or you're going to need
rainy
an
day
encoder out
wheels.
of them. Of course.
That's right.
Some of them, they've got encoders in the pedals. They've got boards on the buttons that if you don't mind using a soldering iron or getting your hands dirty, then you can always repurpose something. And if they're USB and you're running through a PC, then you can always use your resources. So I would recommend anybody have a go at that if they fancy.
Nice. All right. So I want to do another quick round of room because, racing is only as good as the games you play. And I'm curious what everybody's favorite racing game is. So I'm going to start with Sarge and work backwards. So what's your favorite game to play on a rig like that? Like, what's your go-to when you're on it?
Still Daytona USA.
Really? This like the Model 2 one? That's the one? Or
the original Model 2 one. I did enjoy the Dreamcast one, but the original Model 2, and then when I play online, I play Assetto Corsa.
Nice. That's fun. I actually, it is my barometer. Like I always, if I can't play Model 2 Daytona with the force feedback wheel, then that's always like my starter, like baseline. Mark, how about you? I mean, you have Daytona cabs, but like,
so for retro, for old school, the Daytona, as far as my favorite old 80s, early 90s driving game. And then other new ones, obviously, to use with this new BuyStuff cab. I think it'd be tough, but probably the F1. I have F1 2020. I actually have F1 2021 on Steam, but I haven't set it up yet. And then Wreckfest is a blast too. I think I picked it up for $15 on PlayStation. It's a blast to play. So, but that's new to me. And like I said, I've been busy for this last month, so I probably played it for about 90 minutes tops, unfortunately. But I'll get plenty of playing time as we hit the summer.
All right. How about you, Fidel? What's your go-to game? What do you have in the background right there? What game is that?
We go to like arcade. We start with the old. I like the Cruise USA. I like California Speed. Those are my games from like Maine. If you go keeping up like Daytona, I love Daytona. The 1, 2, and the new Daytona for Technoparrot. I like Dirty Driving. That's for arcade. If we go to PC, I like Forza 5. I love that game.
Forza 5 is really fun.
And it's still not that hard to play it because, some of the real ones game, they're so real that it's so hard to play. I mean, you just do it like that and it go like that. I mean, it's
that's
crazy.
Gran Turismo 7, right?
I'm not into like pro on that, but I mean, some of games they're so crazy. I mean, they're so hard to play. So.
But I know exactly what you're talking about. You want to just get in and drive and crash into stuff.
I like it. I mean, I like realistic. I like nice graphics. I love to see those cars so realistic. But when becoming to driving, man, they make so realistic that you can't even drive it. I mean, I don't know if it is. I have to get $1,000 wheel to drive it better. But I mean, it's crazy on PC. I mean,
are you a pro driver in Gran Turismo 7? Because that's a racing sim game where you really have to put the effort in. Like that's not your typical arcade driver.
It's probably not as in depth as some people think. It is probably my favorite go-to right now. But if you're going to go back in time, I saw you just highlighted the comment. Road Blasters was a different game, but it was one of those first ones that I got to sit inside of the cabinet. It's like, wow, this is really cool. So of course Daytona USA, but you know what? I'm gonna say that probably Burnout, the Burnout series, Burnout 3 was just such the destruction and the extreme arcadeness, the extreme crazy over the top drifting and all that was. I think if I look back, I probably had more time on those 3 games than I did on Gran Turismo. But yeah, for right now, definitely it's Gran Turismo every time I get home.
Yeah, and the only thing that's bad about Forza 5 in those games is like I've actually played it. I don't know if like the wheel sensitivity is like not that great on it, but it plays better with the controller. So there's some games where the force feedback isn't like perfect. Like it feels nice, but then like if it loses kind of center, it's really hard to control. Versus when I play with the controller, it's easier. So I have like this love-hate with force feedback because I love it when it works, and I hate it when like it's finicky as F, right? And so for folks that have like been trying to set it up, you know, if you need to use the force feedback plugin, those devs have been amazing. That you just drop it into the main folder that you run the executable, and then it should sync and work for most of those games. But you know, I'm sure there's tweak settings that you can get to optimize everything. But you know, for me, my favorite game still probably is Outrun 2 on Technoparrot, and just like casually running and playing. Like it's just so much fun. The music gets me. It's still my go-to game, as well as a Daytona as well. So those are my kind of go-tos. But yeah, it's been cool to see everybody's different ideas for this. I'm feeling inspired. I don't know. I have so many ways to go that I could with my basic build. If you've watched my channel, I've been mulling over what to do next. I sold my Outrun Arcade 1-Up cabinet. I'm not talking about Arcade 1-Ups because like I feel like I'm beyond sitting in a 3/4 scale racing rig at this point because they're so tiny. I loved what I did with Outrun, but when I put a chair in it, I always felt really claustrophobic. So it's really interesting that, you know, the home arcades are trying to bring home arcades into this space. But it's just one of those that, like, from an experiential standpoint, it's hard to bring that experience to the 3/4 scale. So I'm looking for my next level. Fox, if you had some recommendations for me based on everything that you've seen here and even doing your own build, like what would you recommend for somebody who's like looking to do a build? Do you think scratch build like yourself, buy stuff store, racing rig? Any thoughts if you had to do it again? What would you give advice to somebody who's looking for advice?
I think it's probably some sort of combination, and the number one key or the number one determining factor is going to be that budget. What is your budget? Where do you start? Where I think you're going to want to start with a wheel, and the wheel should kind of be paired with the game you want to play. So you may have to take it up a notch and go with a high dollar wheel to get the most out of the game you want to play, whether that's current gen, old school, whatever. I think you definitely start there. And if the game you want to play has force feedback, definitely get that wheel. But you could mount that to a desk, and you can start there, and maybe that's just sort of the beginning.
That's the starting point.
It starts exactly. Then that snowball begins to build, and you can go from there to the chair, to the setup, you know, and then eventually, you know, a dedicated monitor, and then, you know. But I think you should probably start with the wheel first.
That sounds great. Really quickly before I keep going, thank you for the $5 super chat. P-Dubs Arcade Loft says, great job by all these guys. Well done. Vroom, vroom. Appreciate the super chat, P-Dubs. Thank you so much. Fidel, what do you think in terms of like giving advice to people that are looking to build their own racing rig? Where would you give advice for people that want to kind of get to what you guys have done?
It's all about the budget first, you know, what you want to spend. Like you say, I mean, if you want to go like low, I start with a regular wheel, you know, no first buy, you know, $100 or less wheel, get a PS4, PS3, you know, and get one of those sim, you know, the metal thing that start like giving you that feel. I mean, if you are handy, you can build your own arcade cabinet or something like Fox did, you know, something like that. That is really nice, you know, really nice. But you can build something like that. You are handy. Like I said, I'm not handy. I can't do anything from scratch. I repair, you know, and I fix them, you know, and I restore them. If you have that option and you have one of those cabinets, you know, that is sitting around.
What size monitor is that fits perfectly in there? Like, what is that? Is that 27 inch?
This one is 32.
32? It's perfect in there.
Looks good.
Yeah,
it's really good in there.
It's like, you know, perfect size. You can't go any more than 32 on arcades.
That feels
unless you go over.
It looks almost stock, dude.
When you're driving it, I mean, 32 is the size. I mean, you are close to it, you are fine, and it's really nice. I mean, you can tell from there. Like you're driving right here. I mean, it's perfect size.
Agreed.
And some
100%.
people say, why I don't change the the seat, why I don't get the racing things. I mean, these things comes with a subwoofer right here. They come with another speaker right here. I mean,
You wire that in so those speakers work again?
huh?
You wire the speakers back from the chair into the PC?
Oh, that's a subwoofer right here.
Oh my goodness.
This one right here, I mean, everything, like I said, that's why I like to keep original. Some of those cabinets, like this one, it comes with this. This is a subwoofer that you can feel on your back. Like,
but you got it working. You repurposed it. You rewired it back into it. Oh my goodness.
It's nice. I mean, I know, but it's nice. You know, you can feel the sound coming from the whole chair. Plus, you have those, there are twins right here. So you can feel the sound right here. Plus, you have two right here. So basically, you got like a 5.1 system just running for racing. That is pretty good, you know? So that's why I always keep it like a stock, because they comes like that. I don't even have to like upgrade. Sometimes I have to upgrade the speaker, but sometimes the way they comes, they're perfect. You just have to have like a different amps. You know, if you want to hear all the sound on one side, you just add it, fix the sound for one side, the other side, you can feel everything. Just like when you're doing on a pinball that you want to hear the ball rolling around on one side, you just do it on one side, then the left side, and you just start doing it like that.
If I could fit one of those in my upstairs arcade, I probably would do what you did, but it would be hard to get. That's
they're pretty nice. I mean,
so heavy.
And like I say, somebody have one of those cabinets, instead of just like throwing into the garbage. I mean, you can do some modification, and you can make something like that. I mean,
are you in your garage right now? Is that where you do all your work? Is that in your garage? Is that where you do all your work?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Look, I mean, I don't know how how can I turn the?
If you go to settings and video, you can flip the camera and switch it to the background. So while you do that, let's ask Mark. What other advice do you have for folks that want to jump into the racing arcade hobby?
Okay, just for that. Okay, let me try to change the thing.
Yeah. Obviously I went down this path. So I started, as I mentioned, with the Street Fighter, just an old Street Fighter to test it out, and hooked up the computer to that with the G29 and tried that out. And like I said, it was starting to frustrate me just going game to game. And then at the same time is when I started to see that the BuyStuff guys were working on there. So I kind of just held off and waited to see that. And then as far as advice on anybody who's thinking about it, obviously they're going to create this flat pack. I think there'll be different options for how much you want to spend as well. But they've also, I had a chance to see kind of what's coming next for them. And I think we're going to see for multiple companies the swappable deck, coming next. So, if you're not going to kind of go the big sit down route, then I think I might just sit tight and kind of wait on some of these swappable decks.
This is the year of the racer. You might see it. All right.
Yeah, I really think that's what's going to happen is we're going to see swappable decks. I think Arcade 1-Up will probably improve slightly every time. And we know they go at a snail's pace and drive us all crazy, but they'll eventually get it better. And then different, whether it's one of people out there, the Bobby Boos of the world, or Fox, or the BuyStuff guys, or anybody else. There's the one-stop little guy, and then I think we're going to see the bigger companies start to make the swappable decks, so you can just flip it over and start playing your driving games. But
all right, Mark, flip your camera around, and Sarge, you also have an arcade too. We're gonna do like a big arcade tour with everybody showing off the rest of their goods now. Yeah.
This is the arcade one that I bought for one of my customers.
Yep.
I mean, believe me, I used to think like just full size wasn't like my thing, but I mean, I know people don't have much space and everything, so this was a project that I did it for a customer, and it came out really good. And believe me, after that, I have another one back there that he wanted me to do the same thing. So I found him a Big Buck Hunter Pro. So I'm going to upgrade it with a 32-inch monitor, light guns, infrared light guns, and basically added the bottom PC, because remember, I always use PC. So I put a PC on the back. So they're pretty nice. I mean, you have all the control right here. You have different systems. So it's a nice upgrade. And believe me, I didn't think that I was ever going to work on an arcade one up, but I mean, they're nice. I mean, they're pretty nice.
It's light. It's better. You can move it around. So I think that's the best thing.
This is a subwoofer that I did it on the bottom of the Racer. I have one speaker right here, another one on the back. So I mean, you have the 2.1 system on it. So that's pretty nice. This is my project that I'm doing it for a customer. This is a Marvel versus Capcom. It runs every single modern game, high definition, like Mortal Kombat 11, any game you name it.
It's like a big blue Marvel versus Capcom.
Everything. I'm still working on it. Don't see that. Still like, this is a project working. And over there, that's basically my virtual pinball, my real pinball. And this is the racing one. I haven't shown you the racing one, like right here on the side. These are the graphics, everything like from our original machines. The only thing that I did was like paint it on red to make it look better. And of course, this is the power of the
look at that PC. It's badass.
I mean, I don't do cheap stuff. I love to build my computers. This is of course, it's not at top of the line right now, but it used to be on your time. It's a 2060 Super. So I also have some fans on the bottom, fans right there, because remember, this thing is going to be closed. So it needs a lot of air running.
Yeah, that is not a budget PC right there. That is some fancy stuff.
That's a PC. I always run a PC, man. I don't like Raspberry Pi or anything like that.
I run PCs. I just use old office PCs.
Clean as possible. This is my real, this is the Killer Racing. It's just running, all games. Anything. This is my other machine. This is my NK running all the games too, like Modern, Tekken 7, everything. This is the one how start. I didn't know how to start at the beginning, so I only had 6 buttons. Now I become like, I know more a little bit, so I have more buttons and everything is functional with the games.
Yeah.
So pretty much that's a real machine that I just got. Oh, this is gonna be my next shooting machine.
Oh,
I'm adding a 43-inch. Yeah, that's a atomic wife. I love this one because it's not a big. So I'm gonna add a 43-inch, and I'm gonna use a single gun that finally got it after like 10 months waiting for them.
Yeah, thanks for showing us a sneak peek behind the scenes, man. This is definitely next level. I love seeing some creative folks behind the scenes with this. Sarge, do you have a mini arcade too? Do you want to show off your arcade too?
Sure.
Yeah, do a little show and tell.
Next room.
He's just not into racing rigs. This is across the UK. Oh my God, it's 3 a.m. right now. I'm sorry, but
it's fine. I'm almost ready for bed.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, this is my modest little room, but over in the UK we can't really get what you can get over in the US, so it's fairly basic, but it's enough for us with the old multi-cade.
Really nice. Is that your main build cabinet back there, and then everything else is arcade?
That's my personal one that I built years ago.
Yeah.
I based it on an old Sega Naomi. If you've seen the side of it, you probably understand where I was going with it, but it turned into a multi-cade with a couple of guns on the one side, and then basically I use that for my multi stuff, and then the rest of the stuff is a bit more for aesthetic, but
yeah, it's good. It's clean, man. And then you have the $10,000 racing rig next to it, so you know.
Yeah, that works.
Oh man, and that's the PC there. I love it.
Man, you should turn the machine on. We want to see how it feels, like how you racing, how it moves when you're racing.
Well, I would if I could talk at the same time as being
Yeah.
sat in it. That's half of the
He's
problem.
using the
so it's-
PC for that he would use for the thing to stream
Yeah.
with us right now. So we'll get you
So-
back on. You got to send me some demo videos or link it afterwards. I'm gonna link all these guys. All right, but here's show and tell right now for Mark. Mark's showing off his stuff.
Yeah, so this I can thank COVID for all this. This was very basic down here. So bottom of the stairs, come around, movie poster app. This flips about 300 posters. 135-inch screen, NFL drafts going.
Oh
I got
my.
some Star Wars posters that I'm too lazy to put up. They've been sitting here. Theater seats. I'll give you a view from in front of the screen, looking back. And then Space Invaders out of
Oh, I
commission.
love these game rooms.
Arcade. This is one of my faves, the modded arcade one up.
Oh, Back to the Future skin.
Yeah, B had a lot to do with this. A lot of tips for Cool Toy and you watching your stuff.
You put a full PC in there?
This is all PC. So
Got it.
FX3 and then
Nice.
visual pinball, everything rolling around. We got a future pinball right now. Sonic just
Michael
added,
B's saying crap about you being a Cleveland Browns fan. Sorry.
Yeah. The so this is the other Daytona that was first, and then I upgraded, so to speak. The other side, thanks to Conti, I got this Pac-Man. He owes me $160. We go down this side. This is my modded food fight. So this was the Street Fighter that sort of was
Cool.
the attempt at the driving cab for a bit. That's the food fight. And the latest is the Cubert that's not done.
I saw that. This looks really clean.
Yeah, so it's not done yet, but really happy with it. So I need to get the custom control panel and then I'll finish it up. But really pleased with that. And then I just moved stuff actually last night. So this is that corner where the driving. I might move the other Daytona or pinball in here.
Yeah, that fits perfect right there. You need a second cab and then you can link up racing, man.
And then looking back, screen the other way. So.
All right, cool. All right, Fox, give us the tour of the hotel. He's muted, but that's okay. And
yeah. So we got the artwork on the wall. There's a couch made of some sort of material that's very uncomfortable. Padding is non-existent.
Nobody wants to
see
see
right
it.
next over there, and nothing. Here.
All right. Well, it's really, really awesome having everybody here on the stream. I think we learned a lot, and I'm so inspired by each of you. You guys have all done next level racing builds. I don't know what I'm going to do with mine. Actually, I do have a sneak peek. Should I share a sneak peek of what I'm doing with my cab? Do you guys want to see it?
Come on.
All right. So, give me a second here. But Fox, tell people what you have coming up this weekend. Do you have any things happening? I'm just going to do a quick round of horror. What do you want to plug? What do you want to talk about?
My show on Sunday. I'm going to be filming either from here or home. I'm not sure. I don't really know. My schedule's all over the place, but going to be talking about a lot of stuff. I got a couple topics laid out. So my usual show on Sunday. And as things begin to wind down for me also, I know, Mark, you're talking about how your schedule gets crazy right before summer. Mine does too. We're going to jump back on some of these other builds. I want to revisit, actually talking about racing cabinets, my 2-player racing cabinet. It was actually the burnout themed. I want to revisit that. I want to lock that down and make it a little bit better, fine tune that, get some custom artwork. So that's something else I'm looking to do in the future. Also, thinking about doing a flight sim cab. Thinking about Ace Combat themed is what I'm going for. So.
Nice. All right, Fidel, what do you want to plug? You got anything you want to mention? CracWare. I will plug your group. Is that where people can find you?
Yeah. So what? What do you say?
What do you want to promote or plug, or anything you want to just mention? Final thoughts.
I don't know. You at my group on the link. The only thing. I always trying to make everybody, see everything that I'm doing right now. I just started 4 or 5 months ago, showing everybody what I do. The only thing, I open a group so everybody start following me, seeing what I do, and I like to show my machines. I'm not a YouTube guy. I'm not like a TikToker. I don't make videos like that. I have a family. I don't have much time. I want to spend time fixing those machines. I'm rebuilding. My wife getting crazy around there. The kids always around. So it's not much time. I would love to start a YouTube stuff, showing everything that I do, all the games and everything. But
I think people would have an audience if you did it. You would have an audience, man. You are talented, so I think you'd have an audience.
Thank
Think
you,
about
man.
it.
I would love to, believe me, I would love to show in video, playing it, trying to, show everything that I do, because I think that I'm trying to do something really nice, showing people another way to play, like the fighting machine that I'm doing it. I mean, you could play like MK11 and enjoy it with your brother, with your friend, and feel that, make that feeling, going around, like have you right next to each other, fighting each other, not like sitting, in the couch with an Xbox, with a controller. I mean,
it's different, right? It's different. Yeah.
Recreating that experience.
Yeah.
My brother always come here, he loved to play Killer Instinct, he loved to play fighting game. We like those games, and even my nephew, he started doing that. So I'm trying to teach people another way to play, another play to enjoy, to, to have that feeling that we used to have when we were kids, playing with coins, and playing with somebody that you don't even know, but enjoying it. So that's something that I'm trying
Coin doors, next level.
Yeah, that's something that I'm trying to, make people see it. That's why I'm making those machines.
Thanks. You're making some people's dreams come true. So definitely check out CracWare Retro Arcades on Facebook. I'm going to link to his group, Best Way.
Thank you.
Sarge, I know you need to get to bed, but I asked you earlier, did you have any socials or places that people wanted to see that in action? Can we find it anywhere? Can we see some gameplay or anything? Or
yeah, sure. I mean, I might pop back. I think it's probably the best thing I could say at the moment, but
okay.
I'm on Discord, so Sarge #1939 if anybody wants any help.
Yeah.
Or anything along those lines, if you're new to the hobby or you just want to know where to start, or you're going a bit deeper into it like EMI or anything else like that causes problems with my VR headset and everything else that I've had to shield with the cables.
VR racing. I got to ask you about that. I got to bring you back on a separate show, and we'll talk all about that too, to do some more demos. You owe us a demo, Sarge. Can we commit to that at some point?
Absolutely, yeah, no problem whatsoever.
But you got to get back to sleep though. It's 3:30 a.m. for him almost. But Charlie, Chuck, Mark, people are saying that Qbert looks awesome. You got some friends in the background here. What do you want to mention? Where can people find you, if anything? Your audio might not be on. Is your audio connected? I know you switched over. We're doing mic check. Well, almost. He's switching it. So while he's doing that, trying to get his audio back up, but I can't hear it. This is a little snippet. Does anybody recognize this 3D printed piece of what arcade this might belong to? Very futuristic. Might rhyme with Adelhad. No? Does it look somewhat familiar? What if I guess I can just do the next pictures? Does that look familiar?
Battle Pod.
Star Wars something? Yeah, Star Wars.
Yeah, look at that. So this
that's
is
the only game. That's the only game that I keep trying to buy, because I could get any sound on that. I mean, the game plays good, but I don't get any sound. I don't know why.
Oh, talk to me later. I can hook you with some BattlePod.
Yeah. And remember, we have a talk about like link two machines together, two racing ones, and we gotta make a video. As soon as I finish with that Batman, I'm gonna try to link it. If you teach me how to do it with my Cruise USA, and we can make pretty good videos.
We'll get you all linked up. So Fox, and you're talking about a flight cab. I don't know if I have room to build two, but I was gonna find a way to do a modular racing cab that was themed as BattlePod. So this is my good buddy George Adana already modeling up something that would look like a BattlePod.
That's freaking looks.
That's all I'm gonna show. That's all I'm gonna show, because there's more to come. There's more to come. It's gonna be cool. So that's what I'm thinking. So everybody's doing next level stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna keep with the Star Wars theme. I don't think anybody need a home version of a BattlePod, because those big machines are hard to get. But that's the plan. That's the plan.
It's always something that you're thinking about. I want to do like a Guitar Hero machine too. I'm thinking about to do some Star Wars theme with the Joe. But
we'll inspire each other. We'll stay in touch.
I love to do all that stuff, man.
So much collaboration. Mark, are you back?
That's a bigger problem.
I don't know. Am I back?
Yeah, we can hear you. All right.
Perfect.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing to plug, guys. I just more thank you than anything else. I started the COVID, era, and I'm a guy who's on the road and in hotels 75 nights a week, and just managed to stumble across an NBA Jam and then search YouTube and came across P-Dubs and UB and Michael B and Retro Ralph and everybody else that's really helped pass that time. And now we're all kind of getting back to normal, but really, really fun community, fun to get the nostalgia going in my basement here, and just keeps killing some time.
Sounds good. Well, thank you all for spending your evening with us today. Sarge, get some sleep. I appreciate you hanging out 3 a.m. in the UK. Everybody else, be safe. Safe travels, Fox. Back home, Fidel, it was awesome. Mark, Charlie, Chuck, everybody has amazing nicknames.
Nice to be here, man. Thank you so much.
All right. See ya.
Cheers,
Bye.
All right.
Bye.